Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you a fun and different video. It actually came to me just randomly, and it was in the middle of something. I was like, you're kind of running out video ideas, and it just kind of clicked, and I was like, you know, I turned 35 this year, and I was thinking back and I was like, man, if I could go back in time and go back like 10 years and tell myself at 25 what I've learned like through these 10 years, what I wish I could tell myself. You know, it was kind of like that. And it started because I came across a couple old photos of myself and I was just like, oh my God, you know, what the heck was I thinking? So it's like, I want to just kind of share this with you guys because this is just like a very impromptu, like very, you know, we're not going to talk about products or things like that. Just like 5 things that I would tell my younger self. And if you guys if you do videos and you want to do this type of video as well, like kind of like a tag, by all means, you know, just take the video, you know, give me credit. But, you know, if you want to film this, I just think it would be like a fun video. So I have 5, believe me, I could tell myself way more than 5 things, but just kind of keep it beauty related, you know, obviously life stuff, you know, relationships and all that. That's for another video. This is just light and fun. The first thing I would tell my 25-year-old self would be leave your damn brows alone. Do not tweeze them into obscurity. That's what happened when I came across this photo. I like had no eyebrows. They were so thin and I was like, oh my God, why did I think that looked good? And why didn't someone tell me? And I know why, because like that was the thing. You know, 10 years ago, it was the thing to have really thin brows and have like almost no brows because you just didn't want it. And now it's fuller brows. And now, you know, 10 years later, even as far as like 2 or 3 years ago, I'm trying to grow my brows to look the way I want them to, that I should have had, because I had really full brows when I was younger. And of course at 12 years old, yes, I started in, Mama, you know, I don't like my brows, and started tweezing them myself, and then it just got worse. And then, you know, when you're younger and you're going to just any random brow, you know, nail place that does brows, they're just gonna take away all your brows anyway. So number 1 would be just don't touch your brows because you will regret it. And I can attribute it to a couple things. The benefit brow conditioning thing to help grow them, and just really not touching them as hard as it is, but to just go a good month or 2, if longer, to just not touch your brows, you know, and just let them grow. They're gonna look bad. They're gonna look crazy, but that's what I started to do when I wanted to really kind of grow them and get them back, was I just stopped touching them and they looked crazy. And then I went and I found my brow girl, you know, when I moved here, I found her, and she's been helping me, you know, through it. And it's taken a couple years. I've been going to her for 2 years. Because I started going to her in 2015, 16, 17. Yeah, it's been 2 years, 2.5 years almost. And she's just been helping me to, you know, she shapes them and she does them. You know, of course, you know, in that month time, you're going to have certain hairs that you don't want growing, and so you can pull those. But to what I was doing, no. So number 1 would be don't mess with your brows because you're going to regret it. I would also say number 2 would be leave your hair alone. You guys may not know this, but I was blonde. I was a blonde. In my early 20s, I decided I wanted to go blonde. And the first time I went and I got blonde highlights, and they looked really good. It was the first time I ever dyed my hair. You know, and they put really pretty blonde highlights in my hair. And then I got over it really quick, and then they dyed my hair back. And then I got bit again like a year later, and I wanted blonde hair. My hair looked terrible. It looked like straw, and it was like the ugliest blonde because my hair, can you imagine me as a blonde? Like seriously, not even like highlights, but like blonde, like terrible. Like I saw this photo of myself and I was like, I want to burn it because I looked horrible. And I would just, it would be like this vicious cycle of, you know, highlights, and then my hair was like straw, and then I would dye it back, and then I would want highlights again, and I would want to go blonde, and my hair was just like horrible. And I am just so thankful now that my hair is in such good shape, and it's so, it bounced back because I did, you know, there was a time where my hair, when it was blonde. And it was long. I would say it was probably maybe this length. And then I went blonde and then I cut it short. And my hair was short. My hair was like probably to my chin, if you could picture that. Maybe a little bit longer than, you know, so it was like maybe here, you know, something like that without this. I had really short hair. And then I dyed it dark. Oh my God, it was like crazy. And I think back and even now, like what I've done, I still haven't learned getting highlights, but not to that extent. I mean, I've gotten like balayage highlights and it's nothing to the blonde that I was at, but I would just tell myself, don't try. If you're a brunette, don't try to go blonde, and don't try to do it multiple times in a year or in a 2-year span, because my hair was like straw and it looked horrible. And I don't know why the hairdressers at the time didn't just say, hey, this isn't a great idea, let's just leave it, because maybe they just wanted the money. But I would tell my 25-year-old self, because I think even at 25 I was still messing with my hair, don't. You're not going to be happy. Just leave your hair at, you know, the color that it should be, which is brown. I've learned that now, I believe, after my last highlight fiasco that I wasn't that happy with. I think I've learned. Okay, sorry, my camera cut off in the middle of that, so let's just pick up. So number 2 is the hair. Number 3, which probably should be number 1, is I would not tan. I cannot believe how many years I went and I baked in a tanning salon. And I know, and I'm not guilty of it, I know so many of my friends did the same exact thing, because we've talked about it and now we're still like suffering the consequences, because it is not, I just can't even imagine how I did that. Week after week, just, you know, buying lotion after lotion, just laying in a bed or in a, you know, stand-up unit and just tanning and frying my skin. Oh my God, if I could go back and tell myself how stupid it was and how much you're going to pay for it in the years to come. Just with, like, for me, it's not so much that I have like a lot of sun damage like on my body. I really don't. I have more of like what do you call it? Like beauty marks that came out like on my, like, kind of like stomach area. Not so much like the sun damage, but just things like that now I'm just like, geez, you know, I really need to watch them and you have to worry about them. I do have some, you know, some marks on my face from, you know, tanning that, you know, what are you going to do? I'm working to try to get rid of them, but, you know, what I would tell myself is it's not worth it. It's not worth it to look like an Oompa Loompa, you know, to be so tan and just get this so unnatural color. You know, it wasn't even like it was like a pretty bronze color that you can get from, like, let's say Loving Tan or just from a Gradual lotion. We didn't have those products 10 years ago. So you had no choice but to buy like the crazy, you know, tingle lotions that would, you know, turn your skin this crazy, like bright red and then this orangey color that, oh my God. But that was in. Again, if you think back to, you know, 10 years ago and what was in at the time, it was that fake tan look, like the overly baked look. So, oh, why did I fall into that? You know, and even after, you know, I'm thankful that, like, once I hit 30, I kind of stopped tanning, and kind of realized, hey, maybe I shouldn't do this, because I just, like a light bulb went off. And then, you know, again, not that you want to be, you know, you like to have color, you like to look healthy or whatever, but there are so many other options. Like I said, there's so many more natural looking self tanners that you can use that last, along with Gradual tan lotions. We didn't have Gradual tan lotions then. If we did, I would have been using that and not going every week and baking my skin. So I would tell myself, don't tan. And I would tell anyone right now, do not tan. If you tan, please don't. It's not worth it. The risk and the look that you get, it's not worth it. Number 4, I would say, is I wish I started taking care of my skin a little bit earlier. Always been into taking care of my skin and using, you know, more medical grade skincare, even when I was in my 20s. But I didn't really start developing a true regimen until like my late 20s. So for me, I really wish I would have started earlier and just kind of really, you know, I always did, you know, like your base, your cleanser, toner, your moisturizer, you know, eye cream. I always did that. You know, I always had that, even, you know, in my teens and, you know, my early 20s, I always had that mentality of making sure I washed all my makeup off at night. You know, I never went to bed with a full face of makeup. I was always one to make sure my face was clean. And I always used like, you know, when I was younger, I would always use some sort of like an acne treatment. You know, I would always put some sort of cream on at night. I think we all did because we wanted our skin to be clear. So I would buy, you know, whatever. But I wish I would have started a little bit incorporating more like vitamin C's and hyaluronic acids. I didn't know about that. Well, who knew? You know, really at 22, 23 years old, you don't really know about that. And it really wasn't more prevalent because, you know, whether you know, even like your dermatologist or your estheticians, even though I used to get facials regularly when I was in my 20s, you know, like once a month, I had like a membership where I went monthly and got a facial. And even then, like they never really tried to push the right kind of products. And I don't mean push the product, but like never really said, oh, you should be using this or you should be really using that. It was just, okay, we're going to just do your facial, give you a peel, do some extractions, and, you know, you do that once a month. It wasn't like they like sat you down and said, this is what you should be doing. Like now I've been getting, you know, I get facials, maybe not as regularly as I would like, you know, but I've gotten hydrofacials before, and the girl that I go to that does the hydrofacials, she's really good. And she's a true, you know, esthetician and you know, licensed medically, and she will be able to go over, you know, with me, you know, what she thinks my skin needs, what she recommends. I mean, granted, I'm in the realm of YouTube and you're doing your own research in the internet. You can pretty much do your own research on certain brands. You know, one thing I find with my esthetician, she doesn't know, like a lot of the brands that I mentioned that I really love, that are medical grade, that she doesn't familiarize herself with. Like she's familiar with like your basics, you know, your SkinCeuticals, not even SkinCeuticals, like SkinMedica, Obagi, Zoe, NeoCutis, like certain like ones that you're gonna find at most med spas or dermatologists or whatever, not like ones that maybe like Epionce or Osmosis or even SkinCeuticals or other brands that I've tried that I really love, like CellXC or these, you know, brands that I find work really well on my skin that are medical grade. You know, it's a win-win, lose-lose, I guess. But I wish I would tell myself then to have really started on more of a stricter regimen, incorporating more of those products earlier. You know, and I'm very happy with taking care of my skin and how my skin looks. For being 35 years old, I am very happy. But if I would have told myself at 25, I would have liked to have started just a little bit sooner. This is number 4. And I think the 5th thing is I wish I would have learned to color match myself better in foundations. I tell you, I was looking through pictures and I found this picture of myself from a wedding and I was just like, oh my God, the hell was I thinking? My face was orange. It was so orange. Like, why did I either, and I couldn't even tell you what foundation it was. I don't even know what I was wearing at the time. And like, I don't know if it was just so orange because of like the tan, the fake tan that I had, that my foundation looked like that, or if I just would randomly pick the wrong shade, you know, whether it was MAC or it was whatever I was using at the time. But I would just say to myself, get yourself truly color matched and don't just assume what color you are. You know, don't just pick a shade and think I'm going to be NC42 and that's it. Or NC44. You know, I think I was probably NC40 wearing NC44. Like I'm probably like thinking it didn't match. Or maybe I was an NW. I don't know what I was doing. But looking back at some pictures of yourself and you're just like, why? Why did I let myself do that? Or why didn't they, you know, when you're shopping, and I guess it goes back to, it comes to this, when you're younger, you know, at certain places, whether it's a makeup counter or Sephora or whatever, they look, not that they look down upon you, but they'll look at people certain ways. Like, Me at my age now, I mean, I don't really, and I don't go into Sephora sometimes needing help. I can color match myself now very well. They have that the color match thing now. I've had my skin scanned, you know, at Sephora, where it tells you what your shade is, and that gets saved in the app. So then if you try to search other foundations, it'll kind of pull what your shade is in this one. And if you're this shade in this foundation, then you'll be this, this, and this, and these other ones. So it kind of helps you. And also, I know now what I'm looking for. I know what my skin tone is. I'm a medium skin tone with neutral undertones, and I shouldn't be wearing, you know, truly a pink-based, you know, foundation or a yellow-based foundation, because it's not going to look good. You know, I'm very neutral. But you know, again, in the realm of things, it's a blessing, YouTube, and how much the internet has evolved in blogs and swatches and this and that. And it's funny how, you know, maybe 10 years ago, you know, to see where the beauty industry was, and maybe people weren't as willing to help, you know, in Sephora or MAC. I mean, I was really fortunate when I would go shop at MAC that I was friends with a lot of the girls there, so I never really had a problem at MAC. But there were always times people would complain that no one wanted to help them. You know, I would say maybe, you know, they weren't as helpful now. You know, maybe they didn't really know how to, you know, assist. But I feel like now, you know, people are more apt to help you color match. So I would tell myself I would have better color matched my foundation instead of just randomly picking a dark shade that looked tan and thinking it would work, and then it just, you know, became, you know, just this orange mess that oxidized, you know, picking the wrong foundation, the wrong, you know, color. So yeah, that's it. All in all, yeah, I would tell you to leave your brows alone, leave your hair alone, don't tan, you start taking care of your skin, and get the right foundation. Those are the top 5 things that I would definitely wish someone would have told me. And I wish I could go back and tell myself and redo a couple things. But that is my video. I just wanted to kind of sit back and share this fun video with you of what I would tell my younger self. Feel free, if you want to do this video, and tag me and let me know you've done it. So I think it would be fun to see what other people have to say about, you know, what they would tell their younger selves. So if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.